So you're teaching online for the first time and you're curious, what are some of the main differences between teaching a face-to-face class and an online class? One of the biggest differences when you teach an online class is the need for an online presence. This seems pretty obvious, but what this entails for a faculty member is quite a bit of lift when you first get started with teaching an online class. This means all your assignments, all your communications, and all of your class interactions with your students will be done in a virtual component. So if you're not familiar with a learning management system or how to teach in an online class, this will create a significant amount of work to get your class started, but I assure you that it will be worth it in the end. Getting started with Blackboard. George Washington University utilizes the Blackboard learning management system, and one of the most important takeaways for faculty members that are going to be teaching online for the first time when it comes to using Blackboard is understanding that Blackboard itself is not an online class inherently. Instead, Blackboard should be viewed as a tool and a resource that is highly powerful to facilitate a class for a faculty member. But more importantly, the content that goes into a Blackboard course is what actually makes the online course be an online course. So what about your lectures? In the past, have you traditionally been a more sage on the stage faculty member where you stand in front of the class and you talk to your students? Well, when you move to an online format, you have a lot more flexibility that comes along with your class, which allows you to pre-record your lecture materials to deliver to your students. But more importantly, when you're recording that material, it allows you to break it up into smaller chunks of information so your students can go through and review that in more digestible content, and instead of overwhelming them with 1 to 2 to 3 hours worth of lecture materials. So synchronous online meetings. You've probably now heard of Zoom or WebEx or Blackboard Collaborate. These are all online synchronous meeting platforms that George Washington University has made available to faculty members. Each of these has its own pros and cons, which have been highlighted in another section, which I encourage you to check out. But the main thing you should understand about these synchronous learning platforms is that they do come with some educational features that allow faculty members to engage with their students through things such as poll questions and breaking students off into breakout groups. These are great features that faculty members should strategically plan to deploy during their synchronous online class meetings. Facilitating student engagement in an online class is a critical component for all faculty members to take very seriously when they're going to be teaching online for the first time. Students rely upon faculty members to be available to them virtually to answer their questions and provide feedback throughout an online class. Students need to feel like the faculty member is there in the class with them. They will notice if you've not checked in or if you've not responded to things for a few days. So it's important for faculty members to ensure that they're making a concerted effort to show their students that they're there for them and that they're there to support the students throughout the entirety of that class. My final takeaway for this short video is that anybody teaching online for the first time is that I'd love for you to show to your students a strong sense of compassion and flexibility and understanding. Students taking classes online have registered for these classes for numerous reasons, but one of the main reasons that they want is for flexibility. And as a faculty member, you can still have rules and policies within your class, but your students would also greatly appreciate you demonstrating flexibility and compassion. There are many things going on in people's personal lives, and they're not always going to share those with faculty members. So the onus is on the faculty member to ensure that they're showcasing this empathy to their students so the students feel comfortable to come to the faculty member and that the students can then have a great, successful experience.